Hey everybody, it's 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and that means it is Chopping It Up with Keith Saarloos here on 105.9 Crazy Country, one of the last independent radio stations in California. And because it's an independent radio station, we are hyper-local, and one of the people that I wanted to have in to tell us a little bit about a major part of our community, which is our high school, is Dr. Kimberly Sheehan. How are you doing, Miss? Should I call you Dr. Sheehan? What should I do?
You should call me Kim.
Okay, Kim. Thank you very much. You have been such an amazing force in our high school, and for a lot of people who may not have a kid in high school or want to know what's going on in our valley, I mean, one of the cornerstones of any great community is a place to go get coffee in the morning, a pub at night, a great church, and then a vibrant high school, because that is really the most impressionable age for all of our kids that live in our community. And I wanted to have you in here basically to tell us what is happening right there on the corner of Refugio and 246 on a daily basis. Welcome to the show, by the way.
I know, I'm excited. I'm a listener, so I feel so honored to be here.
Well, you're 10 a.m. on Saturday. You're here.
Love it.
So
Love it.
When did you come to the high school?
I came to the high school 2 years ago. Yeah. So just fortunate to live in the valley. This valley is such an incredible and unique place. It's just it's a place where I found like history and tradition intertwine with each other. Yeah. The legacy of the people that live in this valley, the traditions where we still honor and cherish the traditions of the high school, the success we have in academics, athletics, activities, the arts. It's really just a testament to our staff, who's unbelievable, our parents, our alumni, our community members, but probably most importantly, who were there to serve as our students. Yeah. And we have unbelievable students.
Okay. I'm going to pause you there for just 1 second, because if I watch the news, I don't hear anything like that coming from a superintendent of a high school. It's always negative. Oh, the kids these days are lost. There's problems. There's this and that. And I'm sure we have some of that at our high school. But you coming in so enthusiastically, saying all the great things that are going on with the high school is a bit of fresh air, as I think I would say.
Well, I think that...
I mean, it's a compliment, in all honesty.
Well, it's not me. It's an entire community of people. Fantastic. Everywhere you go. Our students are not... Well, it's a unique place to live. Yes. It's a place where kids still say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. They still... If I'm walking up to a door and there's a student next to me, I've yet to open a door in 2 years. Wow. They look you in the eye. They shake your hand. They and their parents take accountability for the good and the bad, which is unbelievable, because it's not our job in education to be a gotcha. It's our job to teach you lessons that are transferable to your entire life. And if the things you do in high school are the worst things you ever do, you're going to have a pretty darn good life. Yeah. And so we have kids that just work super hard. And I think that part of the reason it's such an incredible place is because the kids don't just come to school. It's not just within the four walls of their classrooms. I would say about 90% of our kids are involved in something outside of the classroom. About 80% of our kids play a sport. About 40% of our kids are in at least one ag class. We have over 35 clubs. Our kids are involved in other things, which lends itself to that community and that buy-in. And we can only do that because we have a staff that just doesn't teach. Almost every staff member on campus does something else. They coach a sport. They're part of the Lego club. They run robotics. It's just endless. Yeah. Endless, the commitment that the community and the staff has to our students. And as a result, the students take pride in what's happening on our campus. And they're really good kids, super good kids. Even on their worst day, we have kids are great kids even on their worst days. And they just want to be loved and accepted. And I think we're also in a unique place We have such a diverse population of kids, but they all accept each other. They've grown up together forever, and they just like each other. And when you talk to kids or you interview them, because I do for Student of the Month all the time, what's the greatest thing about being at San Ynez? Just that, I know everybody, I like everybody, we're a family, we're a community. I also said a long time ago to somebody, gosh, I just don't know why more people don't move their kids to this valley and have their kids go to school here. And people tell me, shh, don't let the secret out. We're good. We don't need it. We're all good here, which is interesting.
So where did you come from before?
So I've been in a medium-sized school district. I spent most of my career in Covina Valley, about 30 years. Then I went to LAUSD, and I was there for 3.5 years. And I was really looking for a place where I would be super proud if my own kids or my own grandkids attended school there. And so when I came up, before I ever interviewed, I kind of researched the school, I researched the area, I made a visit, and I thought, God, this place is pretty special. And when I got the job, I was just thrilled and shocked. But I am a person who wants to deeply believe in the place that they're working and find the values aligned with my own set of values. And if I wouldn't want my kids or grandkids going to school there, then I don't think that's a place where it's probably a good place for me to fit and lead. And this valley and this school is somewhere I would be proud to have my kids or grandkids go to.
That begs the question. You have a diverse background and a lot of different, fingers in a lot of different pies over the years, right? What makes this valley special?
I do think it is the community. I think that it's generations of people that have either graduated from the community, or when people move here, they see that there's something special going on here. And there's a buy-in that we're all here for each other. And how can we support each other? And what can we do to ensure that our community is successful? And because the high school is such a big part of that community, I think everybody just really wants to see the positive things going on, and they want to see the successes. And I think that we're doing a good job at the high school of championing those successes and getting that out into the public about all the good and great things that are happening there. And I mean, I really feel, because so many good things have happened in the last 2 years, not just since I've been here, but it's my only frame of reference. Sure. So many good things have happened that I think to myself, this community, this high school could literally be the greatest high school in California. It really could. We're so close to that tipping point.
Say that again.
This community and this high school is so close to the tipping point of being the greatest high school in California. There is nobody that couldn't come to school here that couldn't find a place to fit in and a place to succeed at this school. And you can't say that for every other school in California. There are great schools in California. We are one of the greats, in my opinion.
Wow. I mean, I have 2 kids that went through the high school. And the one thing that I was a C student, right? That's a pretty good way to classify what I was. But one of the things, even going into the high school, I still have, I feel anxiety when I walk into a high school. I'm just me personally. Like, I had a great high school experience, this, that, and the other, but still the structure of the whole thing, it still brings back old memories for me. Strangely enough, my kids feel the exact opposite. My kids feel when they go to high school, or when they went through all the, my daughter went to Ballard, my son went to Los Olivos, my daughter went to Los Olivos. They went to Dunn for junior high, through COVID, and they both chose to go to the San Ynez High School because they liked the community. They wanted to be around their friends that they grew up with at all different schools, and they wanted to play sports, and they wanted to be in the mix. And that was a question we had to both of them, and they both chose 100%. To go to San Ynez High School. On the back of that, they both have had, I would consider, a stellar high school experience. They love going to school. They go to all the sports. One of the things I wanted to commend you for is, we go to the high school football games, and the stands are packed with community members.
Yep.
They're packed with people that have played there before, or maybe they've been going to the football games on Friday nights.
Like shut down the town, right?
Shut down the town.
That's right. Everybody should come on a Friday night to a Ynez football game.
The flags go up in Solvang.
Absolutely.
You see kids walking around in jerseys, and it has that happy days.
We have big plans for next year's football games.
I'm glad to hear this. The water polo team, which my son plays on, as soon as they're done with practice, they go over to the volleyball team.
Yep.
Right after practice, straight over to the girls' volleyball game, and packing the stands and cheering for them. And my mother, who grew up in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, she goes, this is what high school was like when I was, be true to your school, kind of Beach Boys kind of vibe.
It's interesting because I tell my friends all the time that I grew up in, and I grew up in a great community, went to a great high school, and still have my high school friends, my core high school friends. I say, you guys, this school in this community is what it was like 30, 40 years ago when we were in school in all the right ways. Yeah. So we want more kids coming to those events. So one of the great things we have.
And if you're listening to this, it's an open invite to come to any one of these events.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we want more kids coming to these events. I often hear there's not enough for these kids to do on weeknights or weekends or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So
I barely see my son.
Right. So I was racking my head. Okay, what is the barrier to some kids being able to come to a football game? And is it financial? And for some kids, it might be financial. So a gold card right now, which would have been like an ASB card or something when we were in school, is $65. Doesn't sound like a lot, but to a lot of families that may have multiple kids, it's a lot.
Yep.
Right? So next year, every student on the high school campus is going to get a gold card for free. So every student can come to every sporting event for free next year. So there is no barrier on a Friday afternoon when there's a home football game for you to be able to stay and attend that football game till 9:30 at night for free.
Fantastic.
Same as volleyball, same with football, same with basketball, same with water polo. Any event, any sporting event you want to come to, it's going to be free for you on our campus. Wow. We're going to fund that because we want kids participating. And then there's going to be some incentives for them to come as well. So
I like that.
Yeah.
So we were talking about sports a little bit. Can we talk about some of the clubs and some of the academics? Because one of the things I'm always blown away by with walking down in the halls and things like that is the amount of kids that are going to college. It seems like there is a disproportionate, if I look at us versus, say, any other school, the amount or percentage of kids that are going on to college after school. Are we a little bit higher than normal?
We are a little bit higher than normal. We're seeing more and more kids go to community college just because of the community college promise and it being free.
And we have a amazing amount of community colleges within our area.
Correct. Let me just say straight off, this year, we were one of only 2 schools in the county and one of only 6% of the high schools in the state to be awarded a California Distinguished School for 2026.
Congratulations.
And that's a testament to the students.
How many schools are there in California?
Oh, there's lots.
Thousands.
There's lots of high schools.
And then how many were chosen?
2 in the county.
2 in the county.
And 6% in the state.
Congratulations.
So this is just our kids.
So we're in A+ territory.
That's why I said, like,
yeah.
It's one of those, don't tell a lot of people how great we are because people are going to want to come here. We want you to move to the valley, buy a ranch, buy a house, move in. We have an 86% pass rate on our AP exams, which is way above
That's unheard of.
It's way above state average. And last year we had a record number of students take those AP exams. I think we start taking AP exams maybe next week.
Next week. It's on our family calendar.
Yeah. We have more concurrent enrollment Allen Hancock courses this year than we've ever had before, which means students can get high school credit and college credit for their courses. So seniors can take Allen Hancock Senior English with us, but they're also knocking off their freshman year of English.
Wow.
So we have a bunch of that going on. We also have CTE pathways, which is career tech ed, because
which
we
is
need
becoming
those
more.
fields.
And
Yes.
let's talk about that for just 1 second. The high school has a shop class.
Yes.
It has an auto class.
Correct.
It has a bunch of courses that were being phased out 30 years ago.
Right.
When I was going to high school, and I would have loved to take.
Right.
And I am shocked and blown away by the fact that our high school still has like ag courses.
Right.
It still has those courses of that, in a world today where a kid is in high school, AI is looming. There's all
Right.
of these things. But
Right.
one of the, dirty jobs, Mike Rowe,
Sure. I love that guy.
I love him too. And one of the things he talks about is, hey, learn to become a plumber, electrician,
Right.
HVAC, all of these trade jobs that maybe somebody would say, hey, you don't want to do that 10 or 20 years ago.
I think plumbers are going to be the new millionaires, or at least the
I can't. It's
six-digit for sure. Like,
AI's not coming for that.
no.
And
No.
so our school has a huge feeder program for that as well.
Right. So we have several pathways for CTE completion courses. We have agriculture, which includes welding and ag mechanics, that they can begin to learn that stuff on campus. We have business and finance. We have transportation, which is a super robust auto program.
Yeah.
They have paint and auto body now.
My son
they
loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah. So that's under the transportation pathway. We have arts, media, and entertainment, which is for, our theater kids, our digital photography kids, our graphic arts kids, which is amazing for
And there
them.
is also, just to jump on top of you, there's an incredible amount of talent with those kids.
Oh, I am absolutely blown away.
Me too.
When I went to see The Sound of Music a few weeks ago, I was initially worried because of just the robust cast it's going to take for The Sound of
pull it
Music.
off.
Right. These kids were they're so unbelievably talented.
Yes. I
And
couldn't
it was
agree more.
great.
I couldn't
It was
agree more.
fantastic.
Yes.
We have health and medical sciences, which we're expanding with patient care. And we're hoping, I'm reaching out to Cottage Hospital because they're building one in Buellton. We want to partner with you because we could have a pipeline of kids
I got a guy.
interning and coming straight to you. We have hospitality because we have a super robust restaurant and hospitality. As a matter of fact, these kids prep lunch for our whole school every day. And a lot of it is homemade.
Really?
So every Friday they make homemade dough, they make homemade pizza. Today, I'm trying to think what was today. Oh, soup. Their soup is my favorite thing. Their soup is unbelievable. But they make homemade muffins. Their sub sandwiches now, they're making the bread for the sub sandwiches. They do such a great job in that restaurant management.
Kids are doing this?
Kids are doing this with the help of our restaurant manager and our cafeteria manager and workers. They are doing a phenomenal job. They make salsa. They make it's unbelievable. They make chicken pesto pasta. It's like it's so great. Anytime I have a visitor, they're like, "Oh, are we going to go out for lunch?" I go, "Yeah, we're going to go right over here to our restaurant where they have great food." And they're blown away by the fact that and the place is spotless at the end of the day.
Yes.
It's spotless. And the ag kids make all the tri-tip sandwiches for the football games in that same restaurant. They do the big barbecue out front. It starts at about 3:00 where they're barbecuing right out in front of the school, which is phenomenal. So we have hospitality.
This is all hard to believe.
I know. For a school our size, a community our size, we are outkicking our coverage. I'll compete with anybody. I will compete with anybody, any size. We're going to compete. Academically, athletically, in the arts. We got this.
You are building real humans here.
We want to ensure that we are sending people out into the community that are prepared after graduation for college readiness, career readiness, and have some real community commitments and citizenship goals. And so we are modeling that within our community, within our schools, so that we are sending out people that are going to contribute in positive ways to their community. The last one that we're trying to build, and we did get a grant for this, was IT, information technology. We are just really trying to go down that AI cybersecurity pathway for the kids that want that. The struggle with IT is we're struggling to find a teacher for that because you can make so much money not teaching and doing it. So we're going to try and come up with some creative ways to partner with some people, maybe remotely or something where we have an actual teacher in our class, but the expert is maybe remote, because that is just a need.
Well, you're solving problems that aren't even existing yet.
So when we look at what we're trying to do, so this year's kindergarten class, believe it or not, is the class of 2038.
Sounds like a made-up number.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So if you're a kindergartner this year, I believe you're the class of 2038. We are trying to lay the foundation now for what our school believes in, what our value system is in this community, so that when the class of 38 is walking across that graduation stage, they are as solid citizens as they are today. And that starts with the foundations and the beliefs in what is being done in our school today. So,
One of the things that I wanted to have you on, I mean, I could just sit here and listen to, and I hope anybody who's listening to this should have a overwhelming amount of pirate pride.
Oh, no
because
doubt.
what you just laid out in literally the last 20 minutes is a hit list of success stories for young people that if you watch the news or if you watch television, you don't have hope, right? It's like, oh, the kids these days, you hear that constantly. But I have a front row seat to a lot of these kids. And the front row seat that I have had over the last 8 years, specifically with the high school, is a story of these seem like the best kids I've ever met. And when they come into our homes, because they're there all the time, like you said, yes, sir, no, ma'am, they are respectful, they are kind, they are banding together to work hard to succeed. They want to see each other succeed. They want to see their friends who are playing any different sport.
They champion and cheer for each other. It is a circumstance where if somebody does better than me, these kids, and I don't know where that necessarily comes from, but these kids really believe there's enough success to go around. Just because you win doesn't mean I lose.
They're
if
operating
you
from
win,
abundance.
I can win too.
Yes.
We can all win together and support each other. And that's unbelievable. I'll tell you another thing that's just another story that's really interesting. So when I started, I was superintendent principal.
Yes.
And that was just
lot.
a big job. It was a lot. So just great kids. And I've always been really trusting of kids because I feel like when you give respect, you get respect back. And I've just always had that in kids. So they were giving a tour, and not all the rooms were open that they wanted to take this tour group on. And I gave them my master key to the district.
I'm glad you should be very happy it wasn't me.
I gave them my master key.
Got it.
And these kids are said, well, what happens if we forget to lock a door or lock something up? And I looked at them and I said, what do you think will happen if you forget to lock a door or lock something up? And they're like, probably nothing. And I'm like, you're right, probably nothing, because we respect each other around here. I said, don't worry about it. Just lock it and we'll check it at the end and it'll all be good. Okay, we'll bring your keys back to you. I go, I know you will.
Yeah. Fantastic. What are some of the other, one of the things that everybody probably should know, and I hope everybody does know, is there is a tremendous amount of elementary schools in our area. There's a tremendous amount of junior highs. Everybody in basically the greater San Ynez Valley feeds into the high school. And when they get there, you kind of spoke to it a little bit at the beginning of this, but one of the things that I've noticed is those kids come in with some friends, right? And the kids that they went through kindergarten or elementary, junior high, high school, all the way through. But there really isn't some sort of delineation between I'm from this town, you're from that town, this, that, or the other. I have seen such a melding pot of an entire community, from socioeconomic to location to just everything. And it seems like all of these kids, and maybe I'm wrong, and I would love to, if I am, please tell me, it seems like there is a harmony between all of these kids where kids really get along together.
They do get along together. And so there's six feeder schools plus a few privates.
Right.
And they feed into us. And with the comprehensive feeders, Solvings, the Ballards, the Los Olivos, the Buelltons of the world, we meet once a month just to discuss. But once the kids get there, they're all water polo players, or they're all in the drama club.
Sure.
It's no longer like I'm wearing my Los Olivos stuff, or I'm from and even though there's these 6 different kind of community, they still all know each other from youth sports or whatever together. Right. So some of them have been looking forward to going to school together forever.
Yeah.
Right. And they're just so excited to be together. So, I just think, plus when you get to high school, there's kind of like lanes that kids pick.
Yeah.
And I love it when kids pick lane. Like we had 4 kids in The Sound of Music that were seniors that had never been in a musical before. And they're like, we just wanted to try it. And then they'll say things like, I'm so glad I did it because I got to meet kids I never would have met otherwise. And I just think high school and our high school is a place to try everything. Our football coach doesn't turn anybody away. If you want to put on a pair of pads and play football, you're going to play.
Yep.
You're going to play. You're going to be accepted. If your son's part of water polo, you don't have to have ever played water polo before you're a freshman. If you want to play water polo,
show up.
Coach is going to get you in that pool and he's going to teach you what it's going to take to be a water polo. Show up and let's do it. And that's so great. And kids can play multiple sports. They can be in clubs. They can play sports. They can be successful academically. We don't have ineligibility problems at our school from kids not making the grade or whatever. And I think one of the reasons for that is we have a great PTO, we have a great education foundation, and we have a lot of support in those. We now have the Pirate Academic Center, which Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is open for free tutoring for any subject you need. So there was a gap where math tutors are like $45 to $60 an hour, right? Maybe even more. Well, not all of our kids can afford a math tutor. So now our actual math teachers are going into that tutoring between 3:30 and 6 o'clock, 3 days a week. There's a math teacher in there. There's an English teacher. If there's, sometimes physics will be in there to run a lab or do makeups. You can go in there and get the help you need in those subject areas for free. And that is funded from the Gainey Family Foundation through our Pirate Education Foundation. Wow. So Gainey's donated $50,000 last year to our school to ensure that there was equitability for everybody to receive that tutoring. And we have seen our achievement and our GPAs go up, and I attribute it to that.
Wow.
That's part of it anyways. And plus our teachers are always in their classes for students or, so.
I wanted to have you on today for a couple of different reasons, but first and foremost, I wanted to say you have been a tremendous leader for our community. For someone who's only been here 2 years and has found and sees these kids for who they are and looks at them and says, in a world, if you will, where there's a lot of rules out there and there's a lot of institutionalized learning where this is it, this is how we do it, and there's not a lot of leniency. The fact that when you come in and the culture that the St. Ynez Valley High School has from, I would say, top down and bottom up.
Yes.
There is a air of we're in this together. We're going to win together. We're going to lose together, but we're going to do this together. And everybody who shows up to school is going to find their place.
Absolutely. That's probably the most important thing. You don't have to be an athlete to find your place.
The beauty of what I see happening at our high school is those kids are going to graduate.
Absolutely.
Every single one of those kids. And when they enter the world, and you spoke about this a little bit earlier, you are creating valuable citizens. You're creating valuable people that are entering the workforce. You're creating valuable people that are going on to secondary education. But what they're bringing with them is a big pocket full of San Ynez dirt.
Yeah.
Along with them.
Absolutely.
About where community matters, where we don't litter, where we cheer for each other, where your success doesn't mean I lose.
Right.
It motivates me to succeed further. And the list of achievements that you have made, the fact that we are one of 2 in the county and 6% in California, that is an absolute model for what we can do as a community who cares about their kids. Because I think that's where it ends and begins. There's a lot of parents here who have vested interest in watching their kids succeed, vested interest in their community, vested interest in the citizens that are coming out of that high school that are ready to take on the world. Because, again, going back to the news, there is, I just saw it recently, a huge amount of kids in, LA Unified School District, not to pick on them.
Sure. I worked in LA Unified for a couple of years.
Right. That are, that have reading issues. Mm-hmm. I mean, basic problems, right? And our San Ynez High School, our local little school, mm-hmm. right there on the corner at 246 and Refugio,
yep,
is exceeding beyond wildest dreams.
Right.
And is continuing an upward trajectory. Where do you see the future of our high school?
Well, I see our future going to a place where we really need some facility upgrades. Like, one of my goals is just to get rid of all those portables and actually get permanent classrooms that have been on campus, so that we can continue to excel academically. I don't want kids sitting in subpar facilities. You go to Fresno, you've been there, Sanger, these other places.
Oh, yeah.
These places look like junior colleges.
Yeah.
And we're outperforming them. So I really would like to see some facility upgrades. I think that just ultimately, I want kids to be happy. I really do.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have to come from this extraordinary, you don't need to take 5 AP classes and I want happy, healthy, well-adjusted kids who are going to go out into the world and just represent in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And if anybody has any doubts if there's anybody out there right now that has any doubts about the quality of kids that are in this valley and the quality of families and the diversity of, like you said, socioeconomics and backgrounds and everything, just come to a Friday night football game and watch the party in the stands of the kids with the DJ we have flowing now, supporting our kids with our cheerleaders, with our parents, with our little guys running around like crazy maniacs, mm-hmm. Which is tough, but we want them there. So I guess I just envision a place where when everybody leaves our high school, they're going to miss being there.
Yeah.
And they're going to look back fondly on their time there and think to themselves, that's a place where I would want my kids to go to school. I'm going to go away to school, or I'm going to go away to work, but someday I want to land at a place in the valley or someplace like the valley where my kids have a very wholesome community feeling where everybody is rooting for the same thing, and that's the success of the kids TK through high school and beyond.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I think one of the greatest parts of the San Ynez Valley is when a kid gets out there in the world, this becomes their status quo. Mm-hmm. And no matter where they live in the world,
right,
they will bring that bag of dirt that's in their pocket along with them and say, hey, you got to participate. You got to get out there. We got to go to the football games. Even if they're living in halfway around the world, participation and being a part of a community is so incredibly valuable. It's so incredibly valuable because when I see those kids on their phones a lot less. then I see them.
That was right.
Well, I know we're going a little bit long, but
yeah.
one of the things we should talk about is that, right? Our school has a no phone policy.
Right. In class, it's a no phone policy. We try as hard as I can, but what that has done is teachers are having to lesson plan more because they're getting through more material. And you'll hear kids say, "This is the first time I've ever paid attention." This was last year when the policy went in. And then when they come out of class, their phones aren't blowing up because all their friends haven't been on their phones. So they don't have 20 messages to answer back. And so you'll see kids on their phones at lunch and at break, but a lot of times they're like looking up stuff or studying together, or they're looking at their phone together, or it's very interesting what's happening. The phones are still part of their lives, but definitely not like it was before. But, there's controversial things that we do also. We have this whole privileges and obligations thing. And just since we started that policy where you can earn your privileges, but you have obligations to the world, just like you have obligations to your school. Just since we started that, we're down about 1,200 tardies.
Say that again.
1,200 tardies year to date from last year to this year. 1,200 tardies.
That seems like a shockingly huge number.
Well, when you don't hold kids accountable for being tardy,
right,
you're not sending them into the world where they can be tardy for a job or tardy for college or tardy for anything, right? And so when you tell them simply to get a lunch pass, you have to have a certain GPA, you have to have a certain attendance rate, you can't have this many tardies, you can't, and then your behavior is part of that. They rise to the occasion. And like I said, next year with those gold cards, because even if you haven't earned the privileges for those things, which is pretty easy to earn, next year, we always give kids the opportunity to earn it back through community service, because then that shows you that you owe it to your community. But next year, if you come to a football game, you're going to either scan your ID card when you leave, and you're going to get points towards your privilege points. So you can come for free and you get privilege points for it. Because we want you to be part of our school community in a positive way. So, so that's another way we're holding kids accountable is in life, there's privileges and there's obligations.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of one of those life lessons.
What an astounding school. I mean, from someone who is also participating with their kid there, it just seems so rare. And it seems like having you on today was just a little bit of a glimpse into what is actually happening. The fact that the kids that are coming out of there, the no phone piece of it, the one thing I have seen is that kids engage with each other so much more. They're not walking with their head down between classes. They're walking with their head up, and they're looking for people, and they're laughing with them. They're like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yes.
It is a real throwback into a world where community counts, right? And one of the things that we lost most importantly, and I'll talk about this to the end of time, is, COVID really broke community. And the one thing I've always been very proud of the San Ynez Valley for doing so well is community is one of the most important pieces of why we live here. Because you could make more money living somewhere else. You can, life would be kind of a little bit easier if you lived anywhere else. But the truth of the matter is, you should take it as an honor that it takes you an hour to get through El Rancho because everybody's going to stop and talk to you.
That's so true.
Or, hey, there's a football game tonight and the parking lot is packed and it's hard to find a place to park. The fact that kids are succeeding, the fact that kids are good citizens, good humans, and they believe and love the place they live. I mean, be true to your school, that little piece that always keeps popping up in my head, because there was a time where there was a lot of pride in where you were from, your school, and how well you're doing.
You wear that pirate logo on your chest, and you'll notice like our basketball team has family on the back of their warm-up jerseys.
Really?
Yeah. They don't have their own names on the back of their jerseys. They have family on the back of their jerseys. So it's not about the name that's on the back of a jersey, or it's about the name that's on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you represent, is what's on the front. And we just really want to reward our kids for being good representatives of our school and our community. And they are. They are good representatives. I hear it from people all the time, which is amazing. So,
if you see a kid from the San Ynez Valley, I love thinking about this, is when they go out into the world, right?
Yep.
When they go out into the world, and maybe their name is written in a program somewhere, maybe they're playing sports, maybe it's academics, maybe it's theater, maybe it's your HVAC guy.
Right.
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 When you look down that little list and it says where they're from, and it says San Ynez Valley, you should put your finger on that.
You absolutely should, because I guarantee you that person has a sense of integrity. Because I see it all the time in the adults that have businesses in this community and the kids that represent. I have never been disappointed. They do have a sense of integrity, a moral compass that is aligned with what I think is important, which is why I love being here. I'm so lucky to be here.
I'm at a loss for words. You don't hear that very often. You don't hear a superintendent of a high school come on or even talk and gush about how much they, not only you personally care about the kids that are in this school or the school in particular, but the fact that you would say that the student body takes an incredible amount of pride.
Absolutely.
In who they are, where they're at. I mean, even when I walk around that campus, I mean, there is no, I won't say graffiti, because that's none of that exists.
No.
It's a beautiful, clean campus and it feels like the school is punching above its weight constantly.
I can't tell you how many times, even at a football game, at a basketball game, at lunch, that the worst trash days are windy days, only because the wind's taken a piece of trash away. Kids throw their trash away. If they miss the trash can, I have never one time seen a kid miss a trash can and had to say, hey, you need to pick that up. They go over and pick it up. And that's because those values are not even only instilled in school, but they're instilled by family. Mm-hmm. The family is so important to the success of students and a school and a community. And there is that core, here in the Valley.
I'm overwhelmingly shocked by, and Carp's going to be upset because this was supposed to be a half hour.
I could nerd out and talk about our school for 2 days.
I'll tell you what, we've got another, I blew past it. This might be 2 episodes. I'm so sorry, Carp. But I think this is important, right? The beauty of a community, it really does. I'll say it first and foremost. I mean, a great community grows when people plant trees, they will never sit under the shade of.
Correct.
And I see that happening all the time. I mean, you brought up the Gainey family and the fact that they are investing into students where I don't think is there a Gainey student at the high school?
I don't believe there is.
Yet they see it as an important investment into a overall community.
Yep.
To elevate those kids for bigger, further, and farther, and they don't even have a kid at the school.
Right.
Do you see that happening let's talk about our community now. Do you see our community supporting the high school in such a way? I mean, I know that there's a lot of parents involved in things, but because I know there's a foundation now.
Right.
The library. I mean, that's another thing to talk
Beautiful.
About. It's absolutely gorgeous inside of our library. You guys strangely took all the books out, but it made it
they're coming back.
Okay, but it's a student union more than anything else.
Correct.
Where kids can all gather, they throw down their laptops, be able to sit around tables, help each other out, and it feels more collegiate than it does high school.
Exactly.
So that kid who's graduating from high school is already pre-prepared for going into a college environment where high school, for me, was a huge difference between high school and college, because all of a sudden it was like, no, you're an adult. Right? And it feels as if there's a certain amount of respect that you give and receive from these students where they are rising to the occasion and that transition from, say, high school into the workforce or high school into a secondary education. They're pre-prepared for how to act, how to be.
Right.
And it's like dropping a fish into a new lake.
Right.
Is that the goal?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is, we want students to leave our school with the confidence that they can do anything they want to do. They can become anything they want to become. They can be a plumber. They can be a mechanic. They can be an IT tech. They can be a doctor, a lawyer. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. We want you to have the confidence that you can do and be anything because the foundation has been set for you. They are going to leave here and they already are going to be students that are going to be on time, mm-hmm. are going to be prepared, are going to say yes, ma'am, and no, sir to their boss. They're going to be able to take instruction, and they're going to be able to succeed.
Mm-hmm. And they deliver.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, I don't think it's not rocket science, right?
Then why aren't other high schools doing it?
I think that...
Is it the community?
I think the community is a really special place. Okay. I think that you have a lot of support from Rotary clubs in the community. Oh. And our board members represent their areas of this community very well and have a pulse on what's important to their constituents. So I just think it's... Now, are we perfect? No.
Of course not.
Absolutely not. But we also are like perfectly imperfect sometimes, right? You know, if we do something wrong, we're going to admit we did something wrong and we're going to find a way to fix it. And there are times when kids will come and propose an idea like painting their parking spots, right?
Yeah.
Like they were told no for years. Mm-hmm. And one of the first things they did was come to me like, oh, can we please paint our parking spots? And I'm like, why wouldn't they be able to paint their parking spots? It seems like such an easy win and an easy ask, right? So, you know, I call the board president and I ask him, hey, is there some history? There's history behind paint, obviously. Sure. but and he goes, no. And I said, well, he goes, you run the school, which is great, you know? Yeah. So I tell him, yes, I want to come from a place of yes with kids. So they came to me with the whole privilege and obligations. Like, it's really hard. Like, enough kids aren't, you know, making, what can we do? Okay, let's come up with some ideas on how kids can get their points, on why they're not getting their point. They came back with a bunch of ideas. I said yes to all of them.
Really? So
I think it's my job to come from a place of yes and not a place of no.
Right.
Right? If these kids have an awesome idea, we want to try to get to yes. So.
One of the other things while we're talking is an anecdote from my own personal life. One of the things that I saw happen, my daughter was a COVID kid, you know, a few years ago. And then her junior and senior year, school's back open, ready to rock.
Tough transition. But one of the things I did see was that group of kids who is now turning, say, 21, and they're full-fledged adults. Right.
Right. I don't know if it's just here, but what I have noticed is those kids said, I'm never going back in that box. And they are out there participating. They are out there going out, looking for experiences. They feel like a couple years of their life was on pause. They hated every minute of it. But when high school reopened, specifically in the San Ynez Valley, I saw a flood of kids going to football games, participating in drama, participating in everything.
Right.
Because what they wanted to do was almost rip the orange in half and squeeze every drop of it and make up for lost time.
Right.
That is a culture that gets created. And I think the San Ynez Valley High School specifically has an incredible culture of that post that COVID bubble that happened. The kids that came out of there started going to the dances and dancing. They started going to the football games and cheering.
Yep.
They started supporting their friends that were playing in a different sport.
Right.
And saying, oh, so-and-so's got a game tonight. I'll be home late. I'm going to get my homework done, but I got to go to the game tonight. I got to support my friends. And that the bounce back from that in the St. Ynez High School, because it's my only point of reference, was intense. And with you participating now, I see you at every single sporting event.
I sure try.
But I think that is, again, great leadership, because I see teachers at sporting events.
Yep.
I see teachers at events and clubs and all over the place. I see you cheering and screaming for these kids like they're your own.
Right.
And the beauty of what I have seen is, as my daughter went into college, she brought that with her.
Yep.
And she brought the diversity that the San Ynez Valley brings, and the school spirit that the San Ynez Valley brings, and the participation in everything that the San Ynez Valley brings. And those kids specifically have gone out there into the world and been a force of nature.
Yep.
And a force of positivity, where they say, oh, of course we're going to the game tonight.
Right.
Why would we not go to the game tonight?
Right.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, my goal is to like double those student sections next year
Yes.
with the free cards, like basketball, volleyball, everything. Like, get kids here.
Yes. But when they get out into the world,
Yep, it transfers.
It transfers.
It's like those transferable skills that are extremely important.
And I think that if there is a quiet, massive success that cannot be possibly quantified, graded, or
Subjective.
Right, exactly right, is the fact that when those kids get out in the world, they are rare humans wherever they go.
Yeah, for the rest of my life, no matter where I am, when I retire, whatever, if I ever run across a student that has a diploma from San Ynez Valley Union High School and I need them to do something and it's them or someone else, I can guarantee you who I'm going to hire or champion, because I know the foundation of which they have been brought up through our elementary schools, our middle schools, and then our high school, with our families and our community support.
How can someone who's listening to this right now that is ready to run through a wall, having heard what a success story the high school is, how can they support San Ynez Valley Union High School?
Well, local ballot measures are extremely important, and we're talking about one coming in this next November. Look out for that, because that's going to be the biggest way that community can support our community. And there will be more about that to come. In the next few months. We're teetering on an announcement and a consideration here. But just talking positively about our school, coming to an event and seeing it for yourself. I think that is one of the most powerful things you can do, is come to an event and see it for yourself before you hear what other people are saying. Fill those stands on Friday Night Lights, like shut down the town. We are a small community, but I guarantee we are like out punching our weight class, out kicking our coverage, however you want to say it. And I just think that if you sent your kids, your grandkids, the class of 2038 to our school, you're not going to be disappointed.
My wife and I moved here almost 28 years ago, roughly, for one reason.
Yep.
And that reason was we wanted to raise our kids.
I hear it all the time of transplants.
Here.
Yep.
I've made a few good decisions in my life, specifically marrying my wife, number one. Two, when we moved here, we had water and electricity. There was we were still going to the DVD store that was upstairs in Los Olivos and Blockbuster, and the convenience of the phone, both good and bad, was not there.
Right.
There was no such thing as Amazon, and satellite TV was brand new. So I'm really, really aging myself here. But we knew that this was the right place to raise our kids.
Right.
Because of the values of the greater community that's here.
Yeah.
We don't litter.
Yep.
We help. When we see kids in need, when schools have fundraisers, you go.
And that's exactly how the Pirate Academic Center came. Somebody saw a need. They were paying a bunch of money for their kid to get math tutor, and they're like, what do the rest of the kids do? And I said, they struggle. And the struggle wasn't okay. Mm-hmm. They could afford for their kids to do it. They made sure other kids could do it.
Exactly right.
Yep.
And I think being a part of a community that you love,
yep,
being a participant, and that's the word I really want to use. A lot of people can move here and they can sit in their house and not really participate. If you live in a community you love, it is an obligation to participate. It is an obligation to support. It is in all of our best interests to hire local kids to do jobs in the summer. I am blown away by the amount of kids that have jobs. They are all working.
They are all working. I don't know how these kids do it all, but they're all working. It's crazy. It's crazy. Great kids. You won't be disappointed if you hire one of them. That's for sure. I buy cupcakes from one of the kids at your place.
Exactly right. Everybody, I hope you totally enjoyed this with Dr. Kim. Thank you, Dr. Kim, Superintendent of the San Ynez Valley Union High School, an absolute model.
Oh, gosh. That's too kind,
well,
really.
I got to tell you, just personally, as we wrap this up, is if you have a problem with your high school, you have a problem in your community.
Yeah.
And when you came on today and you brought a binder, you literally brought a binder of all, and it's about 2 inches thick, about all of the success stories.
That's for sure. We didn't even get to most of them.
We didn't even get to most of them. We need to have you back on once a quarter talking about this stuff.
I'll be here.
It is a litmus test of how is your community doing.
Yep.
Go visit the high school.
1,000%. If anybody wants to visit, come take a tour. Come to an athletic event. Come to a theater event. We're open. Our doors are open. Come see me.
There are absolutely fantastic kids going to that high school.
1,000%.
There is pirate pride in the San Ynez Valley. There are parents who really, really care about their kids.
Absolutely.
There are parents that are moving here in the same way that we moved here 26 years ago, because the class of 2038 is going to be working its way.
We're going to blink our eyes and they're going to be here.
They're going to be here.
Yep.
And if we have a great community, if we are supportive of our high school, if we are participating, if we want to see our valley thrive and succeed, it does not happen with people who are at the end of their life. It happens with the kids who are coming up. Every single one of us needs to be planting trees we will never sit under the shade of, because we want those trees to grow huge and beautiful and provide shade for every one of those little kindergartners that are going through school and have no idea what life's going to be like in 20 years.
Well, it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one. I just want to say thank you for sharing your time today.
No, thank you for having me.
I am so encouraged.
Yeah, it's great.
We have a great place for our kids to go. And more than anything, they when they wake up in the morning, they don't dread going to school.
Nope.
They look forward to it. My son leaves early and he comes home late.
Good. Every kid should be Disneyland.
Couldn't have said it better. Everybody, that has been in 1 hour. Sorry, Carp. But I think this is incredibly
important. Thanks,
Carp. Thank you, Carp. I think this is incredibly important for every single person here that doesn't have a kid in our high school to hear how well our high school is doing, how positive it is, how optimistic the future is in the San Ynez Valley. So you have been listening to Chopping It Up with Keith Saarloos and Dr. Kim, our wonderful superintendent at the San Ynez Valley Union High School. Go Pirates.